cut me off for the broadcast, so we'll have another go. So this is AOR F2 Sprint League, race 6 from round 3 in Malaysia. The grid, which the guys, Nezran, the host, and Washi, the league coordinator, I believe will be sorting out the grid. So if everything is as it should be, Mr. Robin will start on pole from Washi, then Nezran, Milan Klaus, Bopop and Schnitzel. So again, we'll have another 14 lap race, 25%, so we're expecting the guys to make one stop again. And it'll be interesting to see how the class of the field from that race, anyway, Iadika, Joshua, Luke and Schnitzel managed to come up the field from their positions starting 8th, 7th and 6th. Now, believe it or not, it takes a bit of time to get the grid organised. The top 8 are straightforward, but then you've got to take into account people that didn't finish and put them in the right order. Only a couple of retirements in that last race, so it shouldn't be too complex. So 15 players. So the guys that went out did so Extreme is back in the race. Good, he hasn't left completely. So's Tom, he's still in the race. So they will start towards the back of the grid. I can't see, so he looks like he's gone permanently. So hopefully he can rejoin in the next minute or so. This is Pag circuit. Been running in Formula 1 since 1999 when Eddie Irvine got the first win. 3.45 miles track, that's 5.54 kilometres. One of my favourites to drive on. Nice and wide, sweeping corners, good variety of slow and fast corners. And it's provided some pretty good racing over the years. And there certainly was some good racing in that battle at the front. Now I had written down the top 3 of the championship, which I believe is Iadika on 60, Schnitzel on 54 and De Thomas on 53. I've only worked down as far as those positions because I'm on my own. Well, I've got a cat behind me, Jasper the cat. Say hello, Jasper. No, he's asleep. But you know, we're trying to get his maths up to speed, but he, you know, bless him, he's not even won yet. So this grid malarkey is taking a bit of time. Let's hope they can get it going soon. Let's see if Cam has joined yet. He hasn't. And I know what I didn't do. I didn't take, which was silly of me, which is what I did the first race at Monza, the finishing positions, which was a bit silly. But at least I've got a better memory tonight because I know the top few positions with Iadika winning from Joshua, Luke and Schnitzel. And thank you to Schnitzel as well for providing me some details of some ages that I was missing. So I now know how old pretty much everybody is. And I'm old enough to be most of their fathers, though not Washi. But Schnitzel is... I've lost him. Where is he? So he's 17. According to the website, Tom and Iadika are both 15. I assume that's correct. So they're our youngest drivers. The oldest drivers from the ones that I know is actually Washi, who's 34. Olkey is the next oldest on 31, but even those guys are young spring chickens compared with me. Come on guys, I really want to get on with this race. I need the loo as well, so hurry up. Right, let's see now. There were some comments that popped up, but I was trying to control the controller, so I'm sorry I didn't read those out, but I did appreciate that some people did comment in the last race. And I will try and see if there's any quiet moments, if I can look at my phone for any comments in race 2. Right. I'm just hoping that I somehow... No, people are readying up, so people are saying they want to get going, but these guys have got to do the grid right, otherwise there'll be hell to pay. So we're waiting for the top right hand of your screen. You see session starts in. When that goes to 30 seconds, that means we are off. in 30 seconds time, funnily enough. And let's just review the drivers while we're waiting. So in the Mercedes is Olkey and Mr. Robin. Washi and Jason are teammates of the Ferrari. Milan, Klaus and Norrell in the Red Bull. Cam and Bopop in the Williams. Sahara, Force India for Iidika and Tom. Nezra and Joshua Luke in the Renault. In the Toro Rosso is not Danny Kvyat, but just Schnitzel. In the Haas is Extrema and not Kevin Magnussen. McLaren is De Thomas, and Sauber, there's no one from Sauber this weekend in this race. Sauber previously was Slash, 851 and that brown guy, but unfortunately no Saubers in this event. This is taking a while. I wonder if there's some big heated debate going on. I'm getting some messages on my phone from the F2 thread. 6 people have joined me. Thank you for joining us. We're just looking at an empty screen at the moment. There's not a lot else I can show you. That's what assists I would use, if that's interesting to you. Right, we've got the countdown now. Good. We'll be on pole for Washi, Nezra and Milan Klaus. That's your front 2 rows. Lots of messages popping up, but they disappear before I get a chance to look at them. This is on the F2 PlayStation 4 sort of chat group, which I know some of you guys are on. Countdown. So are we waiting? So Cam's come back in. Perhaps they're waiting for Cam. So that's good. So we've got a full grid, I believe, that started race 1. And some comments going through saying not live streamed, but it did pop up that 6 people were watching me, so I'm pretty sure I am recording. If I'm not, you can't hear me anyway. Well, everything indicates that I am recording, so I hope you guys can hear me. So 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Really looking forward to this race. Let's hope it's a clean one. I think there was potentially some recriminations for that first lap, judging by a few of the comments coming through. Impossible to catch all the instants, especially when I'm on my own. Oh. But I hope to have McQuiz or Ben back with me next week, and they can help out looking at some battles further down the field. Right, let's see if I can actually not miss the start as I did the first few 100 yards in Singapore race 2. We got a Mercedes and a Haas crashed against each other in the pit lane, which is interesting. And then the Haas disappears, and then the Mercedes disappears. Don't you love this game? Brilliant stuff. Well, the crowd seem to like it though. Above, they seem to enjoy that. So 30 seconds to the start. I do hope that Haas and McLaren are able to actually take their places on the grid after teleporting out of the pit lane there. So we've got 2 F8 guys on the front row there, Mr. Robin and Washi. Well, Mr. Robin used to be F8, he's no longer. But it's nice to see him back in the F2 Sprint League. 5 seconds to go, get ready everyone. So here we go. 5 lights are on. And we are off. And Mr. Robin gets a good start. Washi does not. Nezran's passed him already. It's a second spot. Milan Klaus is looking racy in the Red Bull. Up the inside. And they're going to go 3 abreast. This isn't going to go well. But Milan Klaus takes the lead. Or does he? Because Mr. Robin holds on. Nezran tries to get past Milan Klaus. Wow, Washi's had a terrible start. He's 4th, but Bopop's now up to 4th alongside him. But meanwhile at the front, Mr. Robin still leads. But up the inside goes Milan Klaus. He's going to take the lead, is he? They run side by side. And it's a chance for Nezra to take advantage. Round the outside, he goes in the Renault of Mr. Robin. No, he doesn't. Oh, Bopop hits the back, I believe, of Nezran. And Washi's there in 5th place. Schnitzel was 6th. Joshua Luke 7th, Cam 8th. So the quick guys are still in the race and in decent positions. As up the inside, oh, goes Bopop on Nezran. So leading is Milan Klaus, the reserve driver in the Red Bull. Mr. Robin is second. Nezran is third. Bopop is fourth. Washi's fifth. And Schnitzel was trying to go around the outside of Washi, sorry. And he makes it stick. Good stuff. And Joshua Luke's trying to go with him. And Olkey is there as well. Breathless stuff as Bopop is in the slipstream of Nezran. He looks really racy today. And he's up the inside. But Nezran goes to the pits. Now, was that intentional? Yeah, I think it was. I don't think he got pushed wide. Wow, good start. Relatively clean, I hasten to add. Hopefully, that's what people think. A stop-go penalty for Tom as Joshua Luke comes up the inside of Olkey for fifth. And Tom's got speedy in the pit lane again. I think he got that first race, didn't he? But Milan Klaus is pulling away. So this could be a race win for a reserve driver. Who they don't score championship points, remember, the reserve drivers. So Mr. Robin would be the first one to score points as it stands with 18 points. No, it won't be 18 points, will it? Because it's the second race. You get 12 points for second in race 2. So let's take stock. Milan Klaus leads comfortably from Mr. Robin. Bopop is third. Schnitzel fourth. Joshua Luke fifth. I wonder whether Nezran has gone into the pits just to get out of the mayhem, because he's been involved in a lot of incidents, most of them not his own making in this season so far, and he might think he wants to get some clean air, even though it's very early, and still feature perhaps in the podium battle later on. So we're watching Olkey in 7th place in the Mercedes. Good battle this, with De Thomas ahead. Dika, who's not done so well from the start, he's in 8th. So you can see all the lead guys on super soft. Dika is on softs. And Milan Klaus does the fastest lap of the race. And Joshua Luke is in the pits, so he's doing what Nezran did. I think this is a potentially sensible move for these quick guys. Get out of traffic and let their speed do the talking. So De Thomas in 5th. Olkey 6th. Dika has got past Norrell. Jason said Joshua Luke is in the pits. Where does he come out in relation to Nezran? Nezran's going to get him. He does. Well, Nezran was ahead, of course, to start with. So that's not unexpected. Bringing up the rear, we've got Tom, who's got that penalty extremer, and Washi. I didn't see, I'm afraid, what happened to him, whether that was just a pit stop. No, he wouldn't be right at the back, so something else has happened to him. Meanwhile, Bopop and Mr. Robin are battling for first and second. And Milan Klaus has gone off, so I'm sorry, I missed that. Milan Klaus, my goodness, has lost the lead. He had a comfortable lead, but he's out. No, he's not out, he's down to 4th. So apologies for missing that, but Bopop now has a chance to have a go at Mr. Robin for the lead. Two relatively unfancy drivers in this league, but they're battling out for the victory at this stage. Bopop, who's looking really racy down the inside. Now Mr. Robin should... Oh, he could have held it and then got a switch back, but no, he's held it around the outside. It's a drag race. Down to turn 1, lap 4. Schnitzel, who's ever dependable and reliable there, is up to 3rd. And they go side by side. Great stuff. Bopop up the inside. Oh, a touch to the side pod. Bopop's going to get the best exit, is he? Oh, I'm not sure. Mr. Robin's on the inside. What a battle this is. And they're banging wheels, which is a bit unnecessary. Up the inside goes Mr. Robin, but no. Bopop is into the lead. And Schnitzel really wants to take advantage of this. Mr. Robin is not giving up. He wants his first F2 Sprint League win, as does Bopop. We ride on board with Schnitzel. Milan Klaus is behind them by 1.8 seconds, but he's quick enough that he may well come back into this battle. This is terrific stuff. Down into the heavy braking of turn 9. 10, Now into 11. Through the gears, 5th, 6th, 7th. And he'll come down 3 gears to 4th. Mr. Robbins sliding about. Meanwhile, we'll just go back to Cam, who's very close now to Norrell. 3-second time penalty for Washi. Oh dear. And this race is going down the drain a bit for Washi. So Cam is very close to Norrell. Keeping an eye on that gap between Mr. Robin and Schnitzler for second. And Cam comes up the inside. Oh, it was nearly a Weber and Fisichella from a few years back. But he makes it stick. Good move. And there's been a move. Here we go. Schnitzler has got past Mr. Robin. So he's up to second place. And Schnitzler's going to have designs on the lead now. Of course, we still want to see how it shakes out with the pit stops involving people like Nezrin and Joshua Luke. But Schnitzler, for my mind, is probably the favourite to win this race at this point. So lap 5, Bopop leads. As we go back off board, Schnitzler is second. Third is Mr. Robin. Fourth, Milan Klaus, who has shown he's got the speed. Oh, he runs wide there. And De Thomas is now right up in the fight in 5th place. Milan Klaus, 16-year-old from Germany. We finished 15th in the Force India in the first race in Monza. Hasn't scored since then. Lovely onboard shot from the rear right of the car of Milan Klaus. Mr. Robin looks like he may have gone defensive there. No, normal line. And this is allowing De Thomas in 5th to close up on these guys. We're right on board with Milan Klaus. 1, 2, 3, 4, really close together. Oh my goodness, so Schnitzler, Mr. Robin, who runs wide, and Milan Klaus are all in for their pit stops. So Bopop will take the lead, but he hasn't stopped yet, so we'll go in with Schnitzler. So we have to see where he's going to come out in relation to the quick guys that have already been to the pits. In he goes. On go the super soft tyres. Out he goes. Oh, there's a real train behind. And here comes Nezrin in 8th, and he's catching a lot of them down to turn 1. And his eyes must light up when he sees all those positions that he could potentially race for. So he's in 8th. So the leader, in reality, after the stop shakeout, will be Schnitzler from Milan Klaus, from Mr. Robin, from De Thomas, from Nezrin, and from Joshua Luke. So Norrell, Cam and Bopop. Of course, Bopop was up there anyway, so Bopop could well come out in this battle somewhere. But Cam and Norrell are probably not in the battle for the podium. We ride on board with Nezrin in 8th. Really quick guy, one of the quickest in the field. 3-second time penalty for Milan Klaus. Now that's unfortunate. That's going to affect his race, surely. Well, at the moment he's pulling away from Mr. Robin, so he still could be on for a podium here, possibly even second. We'll see. So let's look at the tyres. So, of the guys that have stopped, Bopop stopped. They're all on softs. The main guys. Anyway, so let's go to Bopop. He will lose the lead to Cam and Norrell, but the real interesting thing about this is where he'll come out in relation to Schnitzler, Milan Klaus, Mr. Robin, De Thomas, Nezrin and Joshua Luke. He's on the softs as well, so he's not going to be as quick. Oh no, because most of them are on softs, aren't they? So this will be fairly static with the strategy. Down to the first corner comes Milan Klaus. So Bopop has come out in 3rd. That will be 2nd on the road when Cam makes his pit stop. Let's check the pit stops. Yeah, so Cam hasn't stopped. Jason is in the pits, he's last. So this is effectively Schnitzler P2 at the moment, will be P1, then Bopop and Milan Klaus. But Milan Klaus has got that penalty. Excuse me, I really need to drink more before these races. So we ride on board with Milan Klaus down to turn 9. He will feel that he's got the speed to get Bopop, considering he led the race, and we didn't see exactly where he made his mistake when he dropped down to 4th. Bopop grabs a lot of turf on the right hand side, and again he needs to be careful he doesn't lose it on this. Whoa, what's happened there? He's lost it on his own. He's off again, and he nearly crashes into Bopop, and Milan Klaus has got a 3-second penalty for time for corner cutting, sorry. So he's got 6 seconds at least penalty, so he's going to be out of that battle. Well, we were on board with him there, and it almost looked like someone tapped him, because he seemed to go around really suddenly, aggressively. Wow, amazing. So Cam is still continuing. He's not made a pit stop. Schnitzel is in P2. Bopop, P3. Milan Klaus is 4th, but with his penalties, he's going to be at the moment about 8th, I think. Somewhere around there, anyway. To Thomas, nice solid job again for him in the McLaren in 5th. And I'm looking forward to that battle between De Thomas and Nesram, as Mr. Robin and Joshua Luke run side by side. Mr. Robin, he's shown how aggressive he can be in this race. But a lovely move there from Joshua Luke. Mr. Robin doesn't want to let it go, but I think he's going to have to. Joshua Luke is a quick guy, quicker on paper. He's not giving up though, is he, Mr. Robin? But he's run wide, and that battle will probably be over with. Let's just go down to see some of the battles further down, where Norrell in the Red Bull is in 10th place, weaving all over the place, trying to catch Extremer in 9th, and behind them is the Mercedes of Ulke, not far behind, in 11th. So this race has gone really quick. Lap 8 of 14. Cam yet to make his pit stop, and Schnitzel will definitely take the lead. Cam's only got 11-second lead. There's a changing position here where Tom has got past Washi, and Iadika, excuse me, has found himself down in 14th. I'm sorry I missed exactly how he ends up down there, because he was at about 8th before the pit stops shook out. And that will be Cam coming into the pits. So here's Cam. Where's he going to rejoin? Joshua Luke's got past him. And Norrell and Mr. Robbins got past him, and Norrell's the next one up. So this is a great battle between Norrell, Extremer and Ulke. Whoa, Ulke goes up the inside there, but that's not going to work. Meanwhile, at the front, Milan Klaus, this is a battle on the road, but remember, Milan Klaus has got, I believe, at least 6 seconds of penalties. And he runs wide. And there's a battle there for 9th. Ooh. And Extremer's got off. And Ulke and Norrell continue their fight. Milan Klaus in 4th at the moment on the road. So the gaps at the front is fairly stable. So Milan Klaus will be trying to get past De Thomas. And then try and pull out some sort of lead. And he gets up the inside. Now De Thomas, if he's been observant, will know these penalties, but he's a racer and he's going to go for it. Milan Klaus in the slipstream down to turn 1. And De Thomas would be wise not to get too much of a battle here. And yeah, he's sensible. Milan Klaus is through. So Milan Klaus's job is just to get as far up the road as he can. At the moment, I think he's going to be somewhere around 7th. Big battle going up behind. Look, Extremer is right with Mr. Norrell and Ulke. These three have battled. Oh, goodness me. Extremer goes up the inside. He's on the quickest super softs. Let's hope these guys keep it clean. Ulke in the middle of a sandwich. And further back, Iadika tries to get past Washi. But let's stick with this battle between the Red Bull, the Haas, and the Mercedes as Ulke gets really close to Extremer. Extremer's got off. So Extreme has been knocked off there and he's retired. That was always going to end in tears, I think. Meanwhile up front, De Thomas is trying to get back to Milan Klaus. I think he's still got designs, maybe, on Bopop, but I'm not sure he's going to have enough time to do it. So Schnitzel leads from Bopop. Driver of the day for me, definitely, in both races. Considering his form earlier in the season was decent, but I didn't expect him to be up here fighting for podiums. So De Thomas will try and have another pop at Milan Klaus as Cam does the fastest lap of the race in 7th. Mr. Robin is currently the last guy who's going to score a point. Remember, points only go down to 8th in race 2. This is the closest battle in the leading positions, but Ulkey and Norrell are at it again, and Washi's right in there too. So Norrell's there, then Ulkey up the inside goes Washi, and he makes it stick. And also Iadika's coming up, so he's going to get past Ulkey as well. But Ulkey's not giving it. Oh, Ulkey pushing him. There's no need for that. Not good driving, I'm afraid, Ulkey. There's some really wide trackers behind. Tom crashes into the barrier, and these two are still going at it. Ulkey and Iadika. Ulkey on the inside of the Mercedes. Iadika on the outside. And Iadika gets through. That wasn't really impressive, I'm afraid, from Ulkey, personally speaking. And Tom gets a penalty. Back at the front, it's still Schnitzel from Bopop, from Milan Klaus, from De Thomas. And Milan Klaus, remember, has got those penalties. So he's going to finish probably 7th as it stands. But Schnitzel looks like he's got this race made if he doesn't make any mistakes. A nice 2.8 second lead. And the timing screen goes a bit weird, saying that De Thomas is a lap down, which he's not. This is the battle between Tom and Ulkey. And Norrell's got a 3-second time penalty now as well, for corner cutting presumably. So Tom, who's got some penalties of his own, is under pressure from Ulkey. And it's a good exit from Ulkey. Great helicopter shot. He's going to go through here, I think, on Tom. He does. Tom tries to switch back, and he doesn't quite have the speed to go through, but yes, he's got a better line there. And these two, you can give each other plenty of room, lads. You do not need to hit each other. You do not need to hit each other. You can run side by side. This is a good battle. Let's hope it doesn't end in tears. Tom back up the inside. Oh, this battle continues, and Ulkey is driving into the side of Tom, and it's just completely unnecessary. I've had enough of that battle. As Milan Klaus has retired. Oh, he's had a big crash. Well, that's the area of the track where he's had trouble with. At least once we saw on board, and I think in the first race is where he probably lost out. So, what a shame. Quick driver, but he's crashed. Meanwhile, Cam is right up with Nesrin. He's going to come up the inside. Nesrin defends. This is a battle for 5th. Schnitzel still leads. He extends his lead. Cam in the Williams. And Nesrin squeezes in, but that's fine. Gives him enough racing room. They come down to turn 1. Nesrin's going to go around the outside, which will become the inside for turn 2. Nesrin's there. Now let's see if these guys can run side by side with that wheel banging. Oh, they do. Not too bad. Not as bad, that one, I don't think. But Nesrin is going to want to try and get back into this battle for 5th. Let's ride on board with Nesrin. 6th place in the Renault. Renault lead the Constructors' Championship on 64 points coming into these races. But Toro Rosso are all pretty close behind. Nesrin, customary, really quick, bam, 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 change down. He keeps telling me that I need to do that, so I'm too slow in my gear changes. He's probably right. Takes a lot of curb and a bit of grass there, but I think that Cam has got away. He has for now, certainly. So we're watching the battle for 8th, which is the last points pay positions. Dika gets a lot of opposite lock there out of the turn 9 hairpin. But I'll go back to the battle for 2nd, because Bopop, who's done a terrific job, is now under pressure from the very quick De Thomas in the McLaren. Good to see the weather stay fine. And we're on the last lap. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Where did that come from? So Schnitzel has got a 4-second lead, and he's going to win this race if he doesn't make a mistake. But this is the battle for 2nd. Joshua Luke is 4th, some way back. Cam's 5th, Nezra's 6th, Mr. Robbins 7th, Washi 8th for the last point. And there is a yellow flag somewhere in Sector 3, but I'm going to keep on this battle for 2nd. Down to turn 9, not really a place unless you're right under his gearbox. So it's going to be very close at the top of the championship between Schnitzel and De Thomas. Dika is currently out of the points though, the leader after the first race. Schnitzel is coming through the penultimate corner. But De Thomas, is he close enough? I'm not sure he is. He's half a second back. He should get DRS. There he goes. The rear wing flap opens. Let's just see whether he goes round into the inside. He doesn't. Out of the final corner. Schnitzel wins his 2nd race of the season in the Toro Rosso. Great performance. Bopop, stunning performance in 2nd in the Williams. Holds on from De Thomas in 3rd. Joshua Luke will come home 4th in the Renault. Then Cam not far behind 5th. Nezran in 6th. I think that early stop didn't actually work out particularly well for him, but a battling drive nonetheless. Mr. Robin is going to be 7th, and Dika has passed Washi right near the end on the last lap. So Paul Washi doesn't get a point. Finishes in 9th, which you'll hate finishing 9th again for at least the 3rd time. And it looks like there's no penalties particularly applied as Tom decides to do some weaving for no apparent reason. He's going to come home 10th. Old Key crosses the line 11th. And we're just going to watch the last few guys come home. Jason, who's some way back, in 12th. And Norrell in 13th. Well, I enjoyed that. Some not brilliantly clean racing at times, but other racing that was really, really good. And Schnitzel, well, he's the man, isn't he? Consistent. Really good stuff from him. That's his 3rd podium in the first 6 races. Good stuff. So Jason crosses the line. Oh, Norrell decides he wants to mow the lawn a bit, ready for the MotoGP race, and then locks his brakes up. So I really enjoyed that. I hope you did. Next week, of course, will be the next round of the championship from Suzuka in Japan. And we'll just wait and see the podium before we sign off. So there's your podium. Schnitzel, P1. Bopop, P2. De Thomas, P3. Enjoyable stuff. So thanks for joining me. And I hope to have someone along to stop me waffling on quite so much next week. Join us again next time.